Claude Opus 5 is extremely capable, but many people are using it incorrectly. They give it long, complicated prompts, ask it to verify everything repeatedly, and allow it to change far more than the task requires. The result is predictable. Opus becomes slow, expensive, overly verbose, and sometimes solves a much bigger problem than the one you gave it. After comparing Anthropic's recommendations with the workflows shared by experienced Claude users, I found a clear pattern. To get better results from Opus 5, you need to give it more responsibility, but also clearer boundaries. Here is how to do that. First, stop micromanaging the model. Older AI models often needed detailed instructions. Open this file, read this function, check this variable, compare 3 solutions, choose one, implement it, then verify the result. Opus 5 usually doesn't need that level of handholding. It can inspect the project, find the relevant files, compare solutions, and decide how to proceed. Your job is to describe the outcome. For example, instead of saying, open the payment service, inspect the transaction handler, check the database query, and look for race conditions. Say, the checkout service occasionally creates duplicate payments. Find the root cause, implement the safest fix, preserve the existing API, and add tests that reproduce the problem. The second prompt is shorter, but it gives Opus everything that matters: the problem, the expected result, the main constraint, and the proof that the solution works. The next rule is to give Opus the complete task upfront. Don't reveal the requirements one prompt at a time. When Opus understands the whole task, it can make better architectural decisions and avoid work that will need to be rewritten later. But a complete task should not be vague. Saying, build my entire application, gives the model too much freedom. A better prompt would be, add passwordless login to the existing application. Follow the current authentication architecture. Keep the public API backward compatible. Don't add a new database, include tests. Stop after the feature works locally and don't deploy it. This gives Opus the complete outcome while keeping the scope under control. That stopping point is important. Experienced users often report that Opus continues improving things after the main task is already complete. You ask it to fix a bug and it starts refactoring unrelated files. You ask for a landing page and it changes the design system. You ask for a code review and it begins rewriting the code. So, define the boundaries clearly. Tell it, change only the files required for this feature. Don't introduce new dependencies. Keep the existing architecture. Ask before making a decision that changes the product. Finish the requested task, then stop. Clear limits don't reduce the model's intelligence. They direct that intelligence toward the work you actually need. The next improvement is to provide context instead of writing a clever prompt. A simple prompt with the correct context will usually outperform a complicated prompt with missing information. Give Opus the relevant files, show it the project's README, architecture, database schema, API contract, coding conventions, and examples of similar features. When reporting a bug, include the actual error message and the steps required to reproduce it. When asking it to follow an existing pattern, point to the file that contains that pattern. Don't fill the context window with every file in the project. Give it the smallest complete set of information required to make a good decision. Constraints are equally important. Instead of describing every step Opus should follow, describe the rules its solution must respect. Keep the API unchanged, don't add dependencies, use the existing database. Target node.js22. Prioritize readability over cleverness. Keep the response under 500 words. Constraints give Opus room to solve the problem without allowing it to move in the wrong direction. You should also choose the effort level carefully. More effort does not automatically mean a better result. Higher effort allows Opus to explore more possibilities and spend more time reasoning. That can help with difficult debugging, architecture, research, and long agentic tasks, but it is unnecessary for routine work. Use lower or medium effort for summaries, small edits, simple components, and predictable tasks. Use high effort when the task is unfamiliar, important, or genuinely difficult. Use the highest setting only when deeper exploration is worth the additional time and cost. Don't use maximum effort to rename a variable or rewrite an email. Verbosity should also be controlled separately. Lowering the effort level does not always make the answer shorter. Tell Opus exactly how you want it to communicate. For example, lead with the result. Keep the response concise. Explain only decisions that affect the outcome. Avoid repeated summaries and unnecessary caveats. During long tasks, update me only when you discover something important or change direction. This allows the model to do serious reasoning without describing every small action. Another common mistake is asking Opus to verify everything repeatedly. Prompts such as double-check every file, review the answer again, and use another agent to verify the work can create unnecessary loops. Verification should be specific. For code, define the tests that must pass. For an API change, require backward compatibility. For research, require reliable sources and a clear separation between facts and assumptions. For financial or data work, require the totals to reconcile. Tell Opus what proves the task is complete. Don't simply tell it to continue checking until it feels confident. For larger coding tasks, use a plan before execution. Give Opus the full problem and ask it to inspect the project and produce a concise implementation plan. Review that plan before allowing major changes. This is where you can catch incorrect assumptions, unnecessary dependencies, or changes that are outside the intended scope. Once the plan is correct, let Opus implement the work in clear phases. Complete the database changes, run the tests, then update the API, run the tests again, then finish the user interface. This keeps the full outcome visible while preventing one early mistake from spreading across the entire project. Subagents can help, but only when the work is truly independent. One agent can review security while another checks performance. Several agents can research different sources at the same time, but don't create multiple agents to edit the same files or solve the same small problem. That often creates duplicated work, conflicting changes, and more review effort. Use subagents when parallel work provides a real advantage, not simply because the feature exists. It is also useful to start a fresh conversation when the current one becomes too long or changes direction. Long conversations can accumulate outdated decisions, failed approaches, and conflicting instructions. Before starting a new chat, ask Opus to create a short handover containing the current goal, completed work, important decisions, remaining tasks, and relevant files. Then continue from that clean context. So the best way to use Opus 5 is straightforward. Give it the complete outcome, provide the necessary context, define the constraints, set a clear stopping point. Choose the effort level based on the difficulty of the task. Control verbosity directly. Use specific acceptance criteria instead of vague verification loops. Review the plan before large changes. And use subagents only when the work can genuinely run in parallel. The best Opus users are not relying on secret prompts. They are creating clear environments in which the model can make good decisions. Give Opus freedom inside well-defined boundaries, and it becomes faster, more reliable, and much easier to control. That is how you master Claude Opus 5.